So let me tell you a story about a guy who wanted to climb a mountain so he can see down into the valley from the side that he climbed, but also so he can see the valley on the other side of the mountain. But the story can't begin about climbing a mountain because first he has to get to the mountain that he's trying to climb. So this is where the guy has to park his van, mostly because it's just a two-wheel drive van and he has gone a little further once before, but he has also gotten it stuck that one time. But that's another story. Let's just say for this story, he has to start from right here. And right here is about 1.5 miles away from where he needs to be to start climbing that mountain. Now, to get that 1.5 miles, there are some uphill and downhill. He starts at about 8,100 feet in elevation. And where he's going to start climbing the mountain is about 8,600 feet in elevation. These are just rough estimates. I mean, after all, I'm just telling a story about a guy, right? But the numbers are pretty close. It would be nice if that 1.5 miles was flat. But like I said, it goes up and down hills most of the way. There's some flat spots, but a lot of it is up and down to the point where the guy can start climbing the mountain. I should clarify. This guy's not gonna get out some picks and some rope and climb the side of a mountain face like in the movie Free Solo. He's not a mountain climber. He's just gonna hike up a relatively steep side of a mountain. But it's not so steep that he's just gonna fall straight down if he slips. He's gonna roll a long ways before he gets to the bottom of the mountain. So the guy walks about 1.5 miles and shows up and sees, guess what? Yes, the mountain. There it is, in all its glory. It would be easy to climb the mountain if you could just walk straight over to the mountain and climb up it. But the mountain has obstacles in the way that you got to go around just to get to the base of the mountain. So the guy has to zigzag a little bit to get to the base of the mountain. And walking up the mountain, like I said, it's pretty steep, so it's a lot of zigzagging, causing him to go up and down hills that are pretty steep to get to some parts that are quite slippery and rocky. So he has to go at an angle to travel up the mountain, which makes it slightly longer. But that also makes it a whole lot safer. So after about 1.5 hours, give or take, of climbing this mountain, he gets to the top and finds it doesn't quite look like what he thought it would from the bottom. So, did I make it to the top? I don't know. I don't know if I could see that when I was down there. I found a flat-ish spot to rest. And to his surprise, there's some snow close to the top of the mountain where he thought he was going to be able to go to the very top. The snow is covering part of it, and it's a little bit steep. And that's going to be very slippery. So he has to find another spot to get to the top of. He can look down into the valley from this point, and he can pretty much see down one side of the mountain. It's just the other side of the mountain that he can't see down until he gets to the peak. He has to go a little bit down to get back up, but finally he gets to the top of the mountain, and it's a little bit windy, but a very glorious sight, worth every minute of the hiking and climbing. Sitting at the top of a mountain right now. That's one side. That's the other side. A long ways down. And trust me, it was a long ways up here. concern now is getting back before it gets dark so that he won't have to walk back in the dark, or at least getting back to the road before it gets dark. It's pretty easy to follow the road in the dark, but navigating your way through snowy mountainside with branches underneath that snow could be kind of dangerous. So it's always ideal, if he can, to hike back in the daylight. So rather than go back down, he decides to walk along the ridge and find a better place that's not quite as steep to go down and to get closer to the road so that he doesn't have to walk up or down as many steep hills or mountains to get to his van and back to his camp.